Amber sat on her bed, staring at her phone, her thumb hovering over the dating app icon. She had promised herself she'd give online dating a shot, despite her natural tendency to avoid people whenever possible. After a deep breath, she opened the app, and immediately received a message from a guy named Jake. His profile picture was cute, he seemed nice enough, and after a bit of back and forth, they arranged to meet at a nearby coffee shop. Amber wasn't nervous. At least that's what she kept telling herself. "It's just coffee. I'm great at coffee," she mumbled, pacing in her apartment. How bad could this be? At the coffee shop, Amber arrived a few minutes early, feeling proud of herself for actually showing up. She spotted Jake at a corner table, his head buried in a book. She was just about to wave when disaster struck. As Amber walked towards him, she somehow miscalculated her step and tripped over a chair leg, sending her flying right into Jake's table. His coffee cup tipped over, spilling hot liquid everywhere, and the book he was reading crashed to the floor. "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry," Amber blurted out, her face turning bright red. She quickly tried to wipe the spilled coffee with the sleeve of her sweater, making it even worse. Jake, taken aback, stood up and stared at the chaos. It's okay," he said, though his expression clearly said otherwise. Amber scrambled to grab napkins from the counter, knocking over a sugar jar in the process. Sugar rained down onto the floor like confetti at the worst parade ever. At this point, other customers were starting to glance over, and Amber wanted nothing more than to sink into the floor and disappear. "This is going well," she muttered under her breath as she handed Jake a handful of crumpled napkins. "Really, it's fine," Jake said, half laughing now, trying to make her feel better. Accidents happen. Once the mess was cleaned up, they sat down awkwardly, both pretending like the disaster hadn't just happened. Amber took a sip of her coffee, praying that she could salvage this meeting. "So," Jake said, trying to break the ice, "you're into B-books?" Amber nodded too quickly. "Yeah, love books. I read them all the time." She realized immediately how weird that sounded and quickly corrected herself. "I mean, I don't just read books, I do other things too, like watching movies, and sitting in my apartment." Jake chuckled, sensing her nerves. "Same here. I'm more of a movie guy than a reader actually. Got any favorites?" Amber perked up a little. "Oh, have you seen Inception? It's one of my favorites. The whole dream within a dream thing really messes with your mind, right?" Jake smiled. "Yeah, great movie. Though I've watched it 3 times, and I'm still not sure I fully understand it." Amber laughed. "Right? I'm pretty sure no one really does." Just when things were starting to feel a little more comfortable, Amber's phone buzzed on the table. She glanced at it. Her mom's contact photo appeared, along with the text, "How's the date? Did you spill anything yet?" Amber groaned out loud before she could stop herself. Jake raised an eyebrow. "Everything okay?" Yeah, it's fine," Amber said, swiping the notification away. "Just my mom. She likes to check in a lot." Jake nodded. "Moms are like tat." Amber smiled, feeling a little better, until her phone buzzed again. This time the text was worse. "Don't forget to smile and look cute." Amber turned her phone face down, mortified. "She's a little enthusiastic about my love life." Jake grinned. "It's cool. Moms have their ways." But just when Amber thought she'd avoided further embarrassment, her phone started to ring. Loudly. And not just any ringtone, it was a cheesy love song her mom had set as her default ringtone, "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston. The entire coffee shop turned to look as the iconic chorus blared from her phone. Amber fumbled with it, trying to silence the ringtone. "Oh my gosh, stop. She finally managed to mute it, her face a deep shade of crimson. "I swear I'm not normally this chaotic." Jake, to her surprise, was laughing now. "Honestly, this is the most fun I've had on a date in a while." Amber blinked. "Really?" "Yeah, it's not boring, that's for sure. Amber let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. Maybe this wasn't the total disaster she'd thought. Okay, well, I guess that's something. By the end of the date, despite the mishaps, Amber and Jake were laughing over shared stories of embarrassing moments in their lives. The coffee spill, the sugar jar, and the awkward ringtone were quickly forgotten. As they parted ways, Jake grinned at her. So, should I expect a disaster every time we hang out, or was this just a one-off? Amber smirked. No promises. But I'll try to keep it to a minimum next time. Jake chuckled. Next time, huh? Sounds good. Amber walked away smiling to herself. Maybe online dating wasn't so bad after all, just as long as she kept her phone on silent. The end. Thanks for coming by. And come again soon.